Hi you guys, welcome back. So we're going to be analyzing and breaking down the latest board meeting the trustees held. Now the trustees had a separate meeting at the Park District, and Tiffany held her non-existing meeting in the Dolton Village Hall.
Some new drama in Dolton. There were dueling village meetings tonight, one held by Mayor Tiffany Henyard, the other by a majority of Dolton trustees in a separate location.
Among some of the people who were present at Tiffany's non-existing meeting was trustee Andrew Holmes. Of course, we expected that, but there was a familiar face that we weren't sure was going to show, and that was trustee Stan Brown.
I thank my two trustees, trustee Andrew Holmes and trustee Stan Brown, for showing up.
Now, the fact that Stan chose to attend Tiffany's non-existing meeting rather than going to the Board of Trustees meeting is really telling, because Stan attended the last board meeting that the trustees held. So people were wondering if he had flipped on Tiffany like Keith Freeman and Carmen, and others that have jumped off the Tiffany train because they could see the eventual derailment coming soon. So before I move on, I want to ask you guys, do you think that since Stan attended Tiffany's meeting, that he only attended the trustees meeting to infiltrate it and be a fly on the wall and to get any kind of information possible for Tiffany? To me, that's what it's kind of looking like now. Do you think Tiffany put her foot on his neck and he went whimpering back to her side to avoid any further ramifications of his actions? Let me know down in the comments how you guys took this move from Stan. But enough about him. Let's get on with this board meeting. First, the attorney lets everyone know why the meeting has been held at the Park District and not Village Hall. And he basically says that due to the findings of the Attorney General that having the meeting at Village Hall was a violation of the Open Meetings Act due to all the barricades on the street, that Tiffany and she had the police put up and all that stuff. And also that Village Hall doesn't have the appropriate seating to accommodate the disabled and people who might have baby strollers and things like that. And then next, Jason brings attention to the fact that the mayor can attend the meetings, but she chooses not to. And he also adds that the meetings held at the Park District without the mayor go smoothly anyways, which I agree, and I'm sure a lot of people do agree. So in this breakdown, I'm not going to go over all the items on the agenda. We will just be going over a few of them. Let's start with D, which is sales of unapproved vehicles purchased by the mayor, Tiffany Henyard, and department head / finance director. So let's hear Trustee Belcher talk about it a little, and then I'll chime back in.
We're going to item D, sale of unapproved vehicles. Trustee Belcher.
So I brought this up at a previous meeting. I've actually spoke to the village administrator, spoke to the police department, spoke to the attorney. Right now, the vehicles that were purchased that were unapproved by the board, we're looking to find out how we can either find out if those leases are valid, or if we need to start a process of trying to sell the cars. We have to do something. We are in a deficit, everybody knows. Financially, just having luxury vehicles or high interest rate vehicles is not a priority that we would need, because they're not like they're the police vehicles that's on the street every day. These are the vehicles that I'm talking about, are the vehicle that drives the mayor around. Two other vehicles that command staff have, where we have regular vehicles, police vehicles that they will be able to drive. And whoever made the leases or entered into these leases, they're just not financially feasible for the village.
So as we heard, they want to take all the vehicles that Tiffany went out and leased for the police station and for personal use off autopay. So not only did Tiffany go and lease these vehicles without consent from the board, she leased these vehicles with high interest rates, and the amount of the payments being made every month for these leased vehicles are putting yet another financial strain on the village. Matter of fact, let's hear Trustee Norwood explain the amount she calculated, basically, that's being spent on all the vehicles per month.
Behind our back, or unbeknownst to us, they went and made these changes, and when I did the math, $555,000 in a 3-month period with all the leases totaling. So they're adding up, and that's our concern.
Yes, she said over $500,000 every 3 months. So in a year, that's easily $2 million they are spending on these leased vehicles. Now, this is my opinion, okay? Just my opinion. Tiffany might know someone in the car industry, and she's either helping someone get a little bit more money out of these vehicles than what they're really worth, or she's getting a little kickback. And that's just my opinion, because it just doesn't add up as to why they would be getting into those type of contracts that are obviously high interest and are slowly bleeding the village's finances. Just like with her Tahoe, like that's how she got the nickname Tahoe Tiffany. And I think Pink Book Lessons was the one that gave it to her. If I'm right, go ahead and comment below. But Tiffany signed a lease that had over $50,000 of interest on it. Okay, let's just go ahead and watch this little snippet.
I sat here and looked at a lease that y'all paying $149,000 for one of them trucks. You make absolute, that's like when you 19 years old and you go get a car and the interest rate 27%. That makes absolutely no sense. You're
Please
not making
facts.
great finance, excuse me?
Please state facts.
But let me tell you, here it is, dated December 27, 2022. The cash price of a 2023 Chevy Tahoe, $93,216.71. Interest and APR, $55,929.49. Total lease price, $149,146.20. Tell me if it's not facts, because your signature is all on it.
So not only did she do that with her personal vehicles she gets chauffeured around in, apparently there are multiple vehicles that they have entered into shady contracts with.
And when I say not financially feasible, I'm going to give you an example. We have a car that our previous chief of police purchased, which I'm sure every person in America that's into cars would love, all-wheel SRT Dodge Durango, which we are paying $2,800 a month. It's not financially feasible. Now that we have been able to gain access to some of the things that we were just not privy to. We didn't know about this stuff. We would never enter into any of these type of agreements that was going on.
So what do you guys think is going on with these high interest rate vehicles? Let me know down in the comments what your speculation is. All right, so let's move on to the next agenda item, E, and that's the discussion of the sale of Melody Fitness Center. First, I'll let Trustee Tammy Brown talk a little bit about it, and then we'll discuss it.
I guess I would say this has been a long time coming. We had talked about this maybe 2 years ago as to selling property that's idle.
So, yes, as she explained, Melody Fitness Center is not bringing in any revenue to the village, and it hasn't been for some time. And like Tammy Brown said, this was an issue that was brought to the mayor's attention a long time ago. Let's look at this video right here.
Next, we have Melody Fitness, Trustee Brown.
Good evening, all. Just want to give an update on the Melody Fitness Center. As of December 2021, we are $51,019.31 in the negative for Melody Fitness Center. I know we also spoke on possibly getting a appraisal done. We did have an appraisal back in 2017, and that was from CBRE Incorporated. And I did speak to Keith Freeman, Administrator Keith Freeman, about getting an updated appraisal report. I know that the Park District is also interested in possibly purchasing that property, but an appraisal is needed for that property. So definitely we'll reach out to Administrator Freeman and see where he stands as to an appraisal getting done on that property. So we definitely will be moving forward with that process of getting that property appraised and possibly out there to see if that property can be sold.
Right, and just to add to what you stated, we already did an appraisal on that. I know myself and another trustee was dealing with that situation in the past. So I don't think we should waste more money and do another appraisal. The appraisal is still good. So you guys should just pull that appraisal. You can pull it through Allison Key, and it's already on file. So we don't have to waste any more money.
Right, so appraisals are only good on commercial property for 1 year. Correct, okay. Trustee Norwood?
Yeah, because the market, so Mayor, the market has just changed from 2017. So I definitely suggest that we get an updated appraisal because everyone knows it's a seller's market. So right now the values are up as opposed to 2017.
Make sure you have an offer, not waste money. If y'all don't even have an offer on the property currently right now, that would be my suggestion to everyone. So I will talk to the attorney and I'll talk to the village administrator as well as relates to that. But
the only reason why we asked for an appraiser, a possible buyer is interested and would like an appraisal.
We don't pay for anyone's appraisal. They pay for their own appraisal if they really truly want to come to village. We're not going to tell them what it appraised at anyway. Their job is to make a proposal and give it to the village and tell us what they would like to offer to us. We do not spend money to help them give us money, no.
The only appraisal was done so that we would know when we do make that offer. So that's why I asked for an appraisal. 2017 is almost 4 years ago. So that's the reason why.
Okay, so we could talk offline to go back and forth over it just to cut down on the time of it. But I still suggest we do not do another appraisal. You guys can go back to the same appraisal company and they can revise the numbers for you, but that's a waste of money. So I'm gonna leave it at that. We'll move forward.
As we could see, Tiffany shut down any suggestions on how to solve the Melody Fitness crisis. And now we can see why she shut the trustees down, because she wanted to turn it into a police station so she could have something under her belt to show the residents she's worth keeping in office. Like, hey, look what I did. I made a police station. But like Trustee Tammy Brown said, Tiffany put the cart before the horse and purchased the $50,000 Dolton police station sign without knowing if the building could even be turned into a police station. Like crazy. Tiffany is just plain hard-headed and will do anything to get her vision accomplished, even if her vision bankrupts the village. That's my opinion.
As everyone can see, we are strictly trying to save our community. And people laughed when I said we'll sell everything right now.
It's not making no money. Y'all done spent all the money and we have to sell it, whether it's in a TIP district or not, just so it can go back on the tax roll is what we need. We are in a financial disaster. Right now, on the agenda that she has, we are transferring money from the TIP money just to make out for bills that need to be paid. So when we go back, what's facts, what's fiction? I ain't never known a person that always got all the facts and everybody else is wrong. We have to be realistic. Realistic is there's no more money. Anything we can sell, we need to sell it. If you want to get outside, we'll sell you too.
It is a point that we have to be able to use what we have, whether it be collateral or anything, to save you guys. So we're not saving us, we're saving the community because we don't want to impose additional taxes or something for the negligence of what has happened over the last 3.5 years. Myself and Trustee Norwood spoke to a commercial appraiser. A commercial appraiser to appraise Melody Fitness Center is $3,700. This is something that as a board, I guess we just have to look into, us getting an appraisal to see can we sell that property and how much it's actually worth.
A lot of the residents say, well, hey, let's open it back up as a fitness center. Well, we closed it down because we could not afford to keep it open. It cost us more to keep it open than what we were actually bringing in. And then she puts up there a sign 2 years ago, which I say was a way to campaign to make it a police department. Again, we had no funds to even make it a police department. You paid what, $50,000 for a sign. Wasted, you want to talk about wasted funds? That's a waste of money.
All right, so we get it. They're going to move forward with the selling of Melody Fitness. Let's move on. Next, Trustee Belcher is going to discuss another item she put on the agenda, and that's the process and procedure concerning citizens' information, or really the lack of process and procedure surrounding the public's personal information at Village Hall. Let's listen.
So this particular agenda item, I guess we need to have discussion and find out how we can work with human resource, work with the village administrator, and work with the elected officials. There are a few issues. We have people that are not employed by the village behind the counters where there is information that's of the public. So we need to set some type of guidelines and work with human resource to make sure that those areas are protected and only should be visited by people that are employed of the village to go back there. We did layoffs, and this is not a hit list as someone stated. It was strictly the fact that the accountant has stated that we have to make a lot of financial cuts. We're gonna have to do another round of layoffs probably because we're financially deprived right now. I'm trying to keep it as clean as possible. The individuals consistently keep coming to the village hall. When we try to get some type of trespassing, the law is so fickle that if someone invites them in, then they are not considered trespassing.
So this is just a hot mess. Okay, so she's saying when people go to Village Hall, they got people behind the counter in places where there is confidential citizen information and people that don't even work there, or at least the trustees don't even know they work there. And then there's also people who have been fired recently who keep coming into Village Hall. I got a good guess of who that person is.
William Moore comes to the Village Hall every day. William Moore is on the payroll at Thornton Township as a full-time employee. Tell me who goes payrolling.
This is William Moore, and he was one of the people who got fired. He still works over there in Thornton Township with Tiffany, but he still comes into Dolton Village Hall, apparently. He's like the vampire of Village Hall. Just in time for Halloween, right? Because like she said, the trespass thing is kind of iffy. So even if they're trespass, but if someone invites them in, then William Moore, the vampire of Village Hall, is then able to come in. Isn't that just crazy? You guys, I just couldn't resist. But let's go ahead and continue because Tammy Brown also has something to say about the issues of keeping the citizens' personal records safe and access to passwords. Let's go ahead and watch.
Want to draft a policy. We have a lot of employees that are sharing their login access with William Moore, with Kim Alston. That should not be. If you no longer work for the village, you should not share your access information with no one. You should not share your access information with your fellow co-workers. Everyone is assigned an access, and everyone should be able to utilize their own access. You definitely have to put something in place. Policies are made to be governed by, not to be broken. So if we're gonna put these things in place, we gotta stand on it. First offense, have a sit down, talk with, put it in their employee record. Second offense, suspension without pay. Third offense, termination. Plain and clear. These guys, I went in there today, it was a shame today. I walked in there, people are standing in the foyer. It's filled with people. Young man comes to the window, works for the village and says, so the guy says, well, who is your boss? I don't have a boss. Everyone reports to someone. I don't report to anybody. Well, where's the village administrator? I don't work for the village administrator. So who do you work for? Everyone has a person in place that they report to. Everyone should be able to follow the chain of command. And when this doesn't happen, things need to take place.
You know, she is absolutely right. And I don't know if they already had a policy like this in place, which it seems like any business should, right? Like you don't share your passwords. People that are not personnel should not be allowed in certain areas. Simple, right? I think there might be some policies set in place, but we know Tiffany doesn't follow anybody's rules or policies. So This is where they're at right now. They're having to redo things, okay? Put in policies, make it Tiffany specific, you know, because she just doesn't feel like anything pertains to her as it relates to. All right, let's go ahead and get to the nitty gritty of this board meeting, because there was a surprise. And yeah, it wasn't a good surprise, okay? Let's go ahead and watch it, and then I'll chime back in.
Can someone bring some chairs?
Temporary appointments within the village of Dolton. And as the ordinance reads, the mayor can appoint a person to an open position and then needs the advice consent of the village board. If that is not received, then a new nominee would have to be presented to the board. The person that was initially presented would hold the position as an interim position, but for no longer than 14.
Motion and second?
Yeah.
Okay. Mark that the mayor has arrived at 7:30.
Can I get an agenda? How y'all doing? Y'all didn't think I was coming today, huh? Okay, you on L. I came just in time. The part of why I am here in this building, it is the mayor's report, so I came just in time. Unfortunately, and I want y'all to record this, make sure y'all get it in the back, please. I want to make sure this is for the record, and please write it word for word. I am the mayor of the village of Dolton. I have told you guys several times, hold on, respect guys, respect. Let me make my statement and I'm gonna leave y'all illegal meeting. Let me make my statement. So matter of fact, let me stand and make it so you can hear it too. I am the mayor of the village of Dolton. I am the first female mayor of Dolton. So I want to make sure I clear that up with everybody. Unfortunately, this is an illegal meeting. Illegal. I've been telling y'all that from day one. People do make believe here at the board. At the end of the day, I am the elected mayor. He's playing make believe. So as you can see, once a real mayor, a real boss walks in the building, you have to move out the way. Because at the end of the day, I got elected for the position. Matter of fact, let me see if this is loud enough for you. Matter of fact, I got elected to the position. So with that being said, I am here to do several things. One, I'm here to make my appointments. So I'm asking the Board of Trustees, do you consent to my appointments? One is village attorney, the other is special counsel, and the other is police chief. Board of Trustees, do you consent to my appointments?
It's not on the agenda.
It is on the agenda. So do you consent? Do you consent? You out of order, lady. You out of order. Do you consent, Board of Trustees? Nobody consent? Nobody consent? Okay, so y'all do know it's in my right as the mayor to have my appointments, right? So I just want to make sure that this was crystal clear, that you guys understand that I am the mayor and I get to appoint my appointments. The next thing is my vetoes. So I got several vetoes here that the board did as it relates to being illegal.
Order.
As it relates to being illegal. So I want you to know that.
Ask for order.
Okay, yeah, check the people. Thank you.
Okay, you guys, obviously she's trolling and she seems to be like really amping that up lately. And she's always accusing other people of, you know, political theater, when I really think that's the only degree she got was in political theater, because this little stunt, it's just like too much. It's so dramatic. It's so over the top. Like, really, Tiffany? Really? She was obviously out in the parking lot in like her Chevy Tahoe sitting there watching the board meeting live and was like, okay, I'm gonna go in there now. Now's a good time to go in there and put them in their place. I'm gonna make Jason move. It's gonna be so funny. She's just like really crazy. I think I'm really think she has some issues, deep-rooted issues, and I think a lot of people are really starting to see that unhinged part come out. It's getting closer to election. The closer it gets to election, the more frantic she gets. It's just gonna get worse. I said this in my last video. Her actions are gonna become more erratic. She's going to get more aggressive with stuff as far as trying to get what she wants and trying to prove to people that she is the one to be voted for. Why would anyone want to vote for someone who has such erratic behavior and total disregard for anyone around her? No respect at all. Who comes in at the end of a meeting, not following the rules, saying she's making appointments, but it's an illegal meeting. Like, it doesn't even make sense in the same sentence. Make it make sense, okay? As we can see, the meeting was going swimmingly, okay? It was going fine. Everyone was calm. And then in walked chaos. And that's what she likes. Like I said before, she thrives off of chaos. And I think it gives her some energy. So she just went in there. She got energized like the Energizer battery. Got a little battery put in her back. And she loved every minute of it. Well, you guys, let me know what you thought of Tiffany's little stunt. So childish. Also, let me know what you thought about the trustees' decisions when it came to the police cars, personal vehicles, the selling of Melanie Fitness, the passwords, William Moore going up in Village Hall, the vampire of Village Hall. So once again, you guys, if you enjoyed the video, please remember to leave it a like. And if you're new here, subscribe.
Okay, so y'all do know it's in my right as the mayor to have my appointments, right?
I do not agree with the mayor solely doing the hiring and firing in the village of Dolton. In the past, history has shown itself that the mayor strictly do political favors.
So I just want to make sure that this was crystal clear, that you guys understand that I am the mayor and I get to appoint my appointments.
He only hire and fire people that he chooses to. If you don't speak to him, you will get fired. It's real petty, so I cannot support it. And this is for the record, Mary Kay. My vote will be a no on him having hire and fire power.